Have you ever had one of those days where your child does or says something you don't like and then scary mommy emerges from the depths of anger and frustration? No, me neither. Obviously not. Well, when reactive parenting is basically when we act on our emotions in response to our kids' behavior. And our next guest, author Laura Linn Knight, says it's a problem, but it can be fixed.
I was an elementary school teacher. I taught kids forever. I love working with kids. I love studying about kids. And then fast forward, I have my own 2 kids.
Yeah.
And I honestly felt like, oh, it's going to be easier for me. I might have kind of just like the upper hand in this. And all of a sudden, my kids are not following directions. They're not listening. We're having power struggles. And I found myself reacting in a negative way. And I didn't want to be that kind of parent. And so it was like, what tools and resources are out there? And as I discovered them, I felt like, okay, we need to all know these.
Yes. Thank you for sharing, because I think we've all felt that moment and maybe not have the background that you do to know where to find answers for it. So your book is called Break Free from Reactive Parenting. Yeah. Let's just define reactive parenting. Can you just give us some examples?
Yeah, it's that overly bribing. It's that yell. Like for me, it's that awful mama yell where after it comes out of my mouth, I'm like, can I put it back in? But
scary mommy? You mean demon mommy?
Yes, scary mommy, mean mommy. But really it's a reaction to our children or to our child, and we want them to change their behavior.
Yes.
But we're frantically trying to change it. There's no pause. There's no moment. It's just, you need to change. You need to change now. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get you to change, even if I regret it later.
Were you in my house this morning? Did you hear what happened? No, I mean, I was getting ready in the bathroom this morning. I hear my older daughter teasing her younger brother, and I just screamed, Lucia! Didn't change anything. She's still going to tease her brother. So why doesn't it work? Because I could be a scary mom.
Yeah, yes. And I can too. You know, you think like for me, it's always humbling to be like, wait, I teach mindfulness, I teach meditation, I have this background, and yet here I am in this reaction. So first I want to say like, let's humanize it. Let's not have guilt or shame around it, because we all do it. It's part of being a parent, and being a parent is so hard and it's frustrating, but we don't always know what else to do. Yeah. And it doesn't, sometimes it does work. You know, your question of why doesn't it work? Sometimes it does work. And the moment, if you're scary enough, you really can get your child to stop. But unfortunately, we know what the science shows us. And as children get older, that's going to have trauma. It's going to have low self-worth. It's going to have a lot of negative repercussions that we don't want. So even if it's working, it's like, okay, at what cost?
So what are some tips for doing the opposite and keeping your cool?
First, we pause. And then after we've had that moment, like if my child, like your example from this morning, my child is arguing with their sibling in the other room and it's driving me nuts and I'm trying to get ready, I might say to myself, can I think of 3 things that I love about this child really quickly in my head? Okay, I've thought of the 3 things. I'm not quite as angry now. Now I'm actually going to physically go into the room. I'm going to get down on their level and I'm going to maybe redirect them. I might have a logical consequence if there needs to be a consequence. I might just separate them because I know, okay, this is getting nowhere. You just need to be separated. So the tool that I use is going to depend on kind of my kids and what's actually happening.
Right.
But the first thing has to be me and how I approach it.
What do you say to a parent that says, I'm at the end of my rope? What is your last ditch advice to them?
I say to that parent, I feel you. I think we've all felt that way where we feel like we're at the end of our rope. That's when we need to build our toolbox. And that is really why I wrote the book. Essentially, it's a toolbox, not just for parents, but each chapter I have for parents, I also have a chapter for the kids. I personally feel like it's a family dynamic that we get to heal. We all learn the tools together. And so not to tell that parent, like, don't give up on yourself, because it's possible to learn new tools and it's possible to change the whole tone of your home.
So you're saying even though my kids are 6 and 9, it's not too late?
It's not too late at all.